and she's here to talk us through her journey as a mum and an entrepreneur. Sarah, first of all, I have to start way, way, way back with your first foray into the world of chocolate and childhood entrepreneuring. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you. Well, welcome and hi to anyone who's watching this. I guess I did. Sometimes you do things you don't always know what the consequences of those things will be. When I was little, lovely family, brought up in a booty in Liverpool, and I'm the youngest of six. And sadly, my dad died when I was small. But one of my fondest memories was I loved chocolate, still do, and I wanted more chocolate. So I remember drawing comics, and I sent them to some fantastic chocolate companies, and bless them, they sent me boxes of chocolate back. And at a very young age, I learned the power of a goal. I didn't know this at the time, but I desperately wanted the chocolate, and somehow the answer to my chocolate prayers came in the idea behind this comic and getting the box. And I've used that goal setting quite a lot as an entrepreneur and as a mum, and just that whole juggling, setting the goal and working out the steps, or actually not even working them out. The steps then tend to fall into place.
Fabulous. And then you had a bit of time in sort of mainstream work before you decided to head out on your own. What made you decide to take that huge step?
Yeah, it's difficult knowing the path to take, because of course you haven't got a magic board, you don't know what the right steps are. But I was very fortunate when I was 13, my mum gave me Anita Roddick's biography, and it's about setting up the body shop. And at that age, I had no idea you could run a business based on the values. And I remember being blown away, because I just thought businesses was run with big grey buildings and big grey men in big grey suits. And so it was a real awakening moment for me that somebody could do something based on the values. So I kind of sat there, and I was fortunate to do a degree in nutrition and catering, and I went off to Zimbabwe actually, and did some work over there, but realised I couldn't really help with the nutrition, but my heart really laid in sort of creativity, and somebody asked me, would I set up a business to help local mums, local women, run their own rural arts and crafts cooperative workshops. And I was like, wow, that's the best job on the planet, helping other people nurture their creativity and help, the values all the way down the line with you.
Teaching them to draw comics or chocolates.
And I'm very much about the whole self-esteem of the people and giving. And I guess that was a bit of a turning point for me. We all have watersheds in our life, and at different ages and stages as we grow. And I remember going back to London and handing in my notice. I'd been working in the city as a catering manager, and handing in my notice, giving up the holiday pay, etc. And I decided to become a self-employed art designer. So without.
So this was at what age?
I was probably about 22.
Okay.
About 22. And I decided, actually, before I started nurturing somebody else's creativity and business skills, that I needed to do it myself. So I became, it was almost like there were two decisions to make, either to do something or to do nothing. And doing nothing is still a decision, to stay. And I kind of liked what I did as a catering manager, but it didn't really fulfill me. I didn't get it. I didn't feel that warm, fuzzy feeling on a Monday morning.
There wasn't passion.
The doom and gloom, and oh my goodness, will the chef turn in, or what will go wrong, and so by identifying that thing that gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling, and that was creativity. And I was very fortunate. I got some really good commissions. I did a massive mural at Charing Cross Station for Greenpeace. I did their 10th anniversary T-shirt design for their national T-shirt, and I did commissions in hospitals and universities, and they made me film stuff in Camden Market, and did lights and paper mache. Did loads of creative stuff, and thoroughly loved that whole venture into being self-employed. One of my earliest stages, I've run lots of small businesses. Even at college, I used to sell my paintings, and everything that I've done, I guess, is kind of I've learned a lot from everything that I've done, and you learn loads from the mistakes as well as the successes, possibly even more.
And so then you became a mum, and I find it really fascinating that you decided while your children were really, really little to open this huge business.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be a mum. That's the hardest, most difficult, most challenging and rewarding job on the planet. And with no rule book for you and your child, there's loads of stuff out there, but fundamentally, the relationship between you and your child is unique, and it's down to the two of you and your partner. And so I had my three boys quite close together. I think Sam was 3.5, Ollie was 22 months when I had Josh. And I'd been in a wheelchair for a couple of years because I had some decent problems with my hip. And strange, I'd been teaching art and photography at a local disabled centre down the road. And really I'd become disabled myself through the pregnancy. And again, it was another watershed period for me. I wanted to be there for my boys. I've got a fantastic husband, Duncan, who's my soulmate, and he taught me too, and still is, because I couldn't have done anything for that. And I guess it was a watershed period, and it was either there are decisions to be made, either carry on doing the same thing or do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And the warm fuzzy feeling there for me was having that time with my children. And I'd seen lots of the whole new world when you have become a parent that you just don't see as a non-parent person.
Yeah.
And so I started spotting, the development side, and there was lots of classes and clubs for gym and music, but there was not. I couldn't see anything for nurturing
pure creativity,
individual potential.
Yeah.
We teach children, we cram them loads of stuff, teach them how to do things. But I think if we allow them, like your flowers behind you, if we allow them to blossom, their own abilities will emerge. And that's how they will really embrace learning and learn how to problem solve and trust their instincts. And as they grow up, their future, it's not black and white. My path was all over the place.
Piggledy, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's more so for children these days. So if they can learn to trust and believe and have that self-belief, and that's really what the class is all about. We do it to what class are creative.
So you found that was an area that was being neglected by sort of mainstream child opportunities for children in the UK, and you were in there.
Yeah, with that warm fuzzy feeling, and parents. It's really interesting because parents typically didn't know what to do with the arts and crafts, and those people thought we have to teach them how to paint a horse, or that 2 wires go here, and it was actually
the sky is blue and the trees are green, and
that's not what it's about. Your child, and whatever they do, if they rip the paper, they make it, or they sucked it and chewed it, and they made bumpy paper, and it's about the journey, not the outcome. So parents enjoyed that, and they didn't want they certainly didn't want to do it in the house. They didn't have the sort of the knowledge of what to do. Yeah, the tools and equipment, the space, and sometimes the confidence to have a go.
And did you find that it was very much a niche that was not explored? A very specific area, and do you think that helped with the growth of the business going forward?
I do, yeah. This was back in 2002 when I sound so old. There wasn't really a lot of internet.
Yeah, I was just about to say, before Facebook,
It was
practically. Yeah.
amazingly before and mobile phones.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people think arts and crafts is about, here's one I made earlier. I'm going to do this. Like, so if she wants to make some glasses, you can make some glass plates. Or
Can I have them, please?
a little dinosaur like this.
Yes.
Or, so it's not about the end product. And an awful lot of art clubs are about, this is how you make a X.
Yes.
We start at the other end, which we have a magic ideas box or a magic ideas bag or card, inspiration cards. And when they're turned over, or when the box is opened, well, what are we going to do with the string? What are we going to do with the card or the feathers? What could you do? So it's very much about the journey, and they might make something at the end, but it's not the be all and end all.
Yes,
it's
that's the process. And if you can take yourself back to that period, is there anything you would have done differently in setting up your business?
Well, I say yes. Logically, I should have grown the business quicker. People say it's growing really quickly. I've been doing this over 14 years, certainly since I started. Maybe it's a bit longer than that, 14, 15 years. And I could have invested in the business more at the front end. But actually, for me, I spent 5 years. I had Josh. He started school September 2007. And it's only then we awarded the first franchise. So I spent the first 5 years being mum and around my children and learning all of the problems and challenges about running a business so that I could solve some of those problems but when we franchised it. And because my husband supported, I've never really done it for the money. It was more about trying to make a difference.
And and fitting in with your family, because I find some people I speak to, once their business really takes off, they don't enjoy it that much. It's a fine line finding that balance between, how successful you want to be, but the price you want to pay, if that's the right way of putting it, for that success. And sometimes people find that the business sort of runs away with them, that they can't control the growth and get it back to a point where they're really enjoying it. And speaking of balance, did you have a problem with balance? Balancing that whole being a mum, being an entrepreneur.
Always. But I think for me, it came down to, I guess, that goal. So I could have grown the business much quicker, but my goal was to be there for my children, so I didn't, and I'm really glad I didn't.
So would you suggest that to people? Would you suggest waiting until your children are in school, or do you think that it's a very personal journey?
Well, I ran the business with my children being small, so I definitely, you shouldn't wait till your children are at school. What you should be clear on is what your goals are. So I was able to bring the children along to the classes, which was really great.
They hence this little inside secret I know about Little Miss Fun.
Yeah, I haven't got my Little Miss Fun costume today. We've got a couple of officers and somebody's
Sarah's children. This is an exclusive inside scoop into Sarah's life. But Sarah's children, I know, call her Little Miss Fun, which I think is a great accolade from children, and obviously sort of speaks to how they perceive your job, I think, and what it's brought for them, maybe.
They are. I mean, they've been really involved in the business. That they could run really good classes. They don't, but they're very much part of it. And in terms of going back to the question about the balance, I think the important thing is to have the goal. And we all have lists, really long lists, and sometimes we rewrite them so they tell you. But none of us have a no list. So there's a no list for me, and certain things, because in the evenings I don't, on average, I don't pick up my phone. I put it in the drawer most of the time. But there are certain things that I make sure that I leave the office at 3 o'clock. But on most days, certainly 3 or 4 days. I've been able to take the children to school, pick them up. Haven't missed any of the city plays. I haven't missed any. between me and my husband. So they were the goals, and I've been able to work things around because it's so easy to be busy and just to be busy, and then feel horrendous because there's always more to do at work, and the children got so busy.
Yes. They're not going to always be around.
No,
exactly. And I know they're quite a bit older now. Do you think they've picked up a lot of the sort of values that you were talking about before? And is that a positive thing for having children? You know, people often look at the negative side of being in a business and trying to balance, you know, juggle that with children. But does it also maybe give the kids those values? And are you spotting any massive entrepreneurial moments with your children?
That's a really good question. Because the most important people, certainly in my life, is the children and partner and friends. Really important to have them at the top of the tree. And an example that might demonstrate it, I picked Sam up from school one day, and the teacher said to him, "Thanks, Sam." I said, "What's again, thanks?" He said, "Well, we did a drumming workshop, and I know how much work's involved in these workshops, so I stayed behind and helped him clear up." And then he ended up teaching children how to dance on a Wednesday evening. He did it voluntarily.
And this was when he was how old?
And he was probably about 13.
Okay.
And the head said, it was a different school, and the headmaster said to him, "Could you help us with some of our children who aren't really engaging in school? Because the way you speak to the children and the way you maintain the eye contact and help them build their own self-esteem, it's quite remarkable."
And you knew where that came from?
And it absolutely came from.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because they say things, there is what lovely phrase we use, but they would say it back to me. No, there is no right or wrong, just try your best and see what happens and give it a go, and it's going to be okay. And just back to me, great. Tell me more about it rather than, well, what is it?
Yeah.
And for a head to spot that.
And it's interesting how without having that sort of preset urge to just get to the end, can actually achieve the end pretty well.
Yeah, and more than and certainly in terms of their own development, made the point where if we have a problem, it's very easy to find a solution with proper creative thinking and just thinking around the problem. If you come up with some more solutions, maybe 6 or 7 solutions, rather than just the first one, and it helps.
Brainstorm a little bit, which is always easier if you're more in touch with your own creativity, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and just knowing how to, well, what if it's this, or what if we turned it around that way, or what if it was 10 times the size, or what if it was smaller? And I know it's strange, well, it's not strange to me at all, but the children are very good at at science and maths and problem solving. And I remember a teacher saying to me, your boy, Ollie, is very good at seeing what isn't there and thinking about the negative space.
Which should be a real wake-up call for parents everywhere, really, because people can be so, performance-orientated. And sometimes there's, like you said, there's not only one way to get to that place where your child is performing well. You might have to go back and stimulate the creativity a bit, or.
And if you think one of the biggest exports for our country now is the creative industries, and if you think the last 10 years, the developments on how we communicate, how we are entertained, they're all because somebody has thought outside of the box. And we don't celebrate outside of the box. We celebrate colouring in the lines and follow certain pathways and making sure we can regurgitate the information to pass exams. And that's really
the key to the future, in a way.
It is, without a doubt.
Sarah, it's so lovely to speak to you. I can talk to you all day, but we have to get to the end at the moment. I just have one more question, which is what is the future of the Creation Station? What is exciting things on the horizon for you?
I always feel we're just at the beginning of a new journey. I love journeys and goals. And I guess, we have a network of 80 really switched on franchise owners. And they get our values. Our values are quite key for us.
That's 80,
So,
80 around the UK.
Yeah.
So people can basically find a creation station near them, more or less, if they...
Yeah. Yeah, so we do baby classes, toddler classes, parties, after school clubs now, events. We've got the Farmer Kids going to the Olympics in Hyde Park, which is amazing. So we do a lot of events and workshops for children of all ages. And we launched something recently. Again, under this umbrella of creativity, how do we nurture that? I'm always looking at ways to do that. And we launched something recently which was called, I've got one here, shall I just show it?
Yeah, please do.
It's all fun arty box, I don't know if you can see it.
Okay, yeah, I can.
Because it's packed with 10 activities, 10 ideas for children to do at home, with or without the parents. It's from 5 years and upwards. And what we're finding, the feedback we're getting on it is really lovely. And what we're finding is it's just promoting that creative thinking again. And I mean, that's all we do. We just try and help people inspire the child.
And you've got an online shop as well, haven't you?
We have. It's the Creation Station store. About 13,000 products. In fact, I was just on the phone to somebody just before we spoke. An artist who's making a sculpture and wanted 25,000 pipe cleaners. And I thought, we'd love to help, and let's, and pipe cleaners are so great at.
So everybody go out and buy pipe cleaners because there's going to be none left in the whole of England.
Exactly. And joining with straws and beads and
yes, no, they're wonderful. They're wonderful.
And even full glasses. So just to do more of what we do and promote and support children's creativity and develop imagination.
Fabulous. Sarah, it's just such a pleasure speaking to you, and I feel completely energised doing this and having spent this little bit of time with you, and I wish you all the best for the future, and thank you for speaking to MFA.
Oh, thank you very much for your time. All the best.
Okay, bye-bye.